Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for this free webinar presented by Vpress and Sabre Limited. Today's session is how Web2Print delivers 20% plus in production savings for PrintVis, and we'll explain how CorePrint can automate your print ordering. We'll be spending about 1 hour together, including some time at the end for questions. The session is being recorded and will be available on demand after the live event. So with that, you'll receive a follow-up email with a link to the recording. As we move through the presentation today, please submit any questions you may have through the Q&A panel. We'll address as many of those as we can during the end of the session. And as a reminder, please remember to stay muted during today's session. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce today's presenters, Kelvin Bell, Craig Smith, and Mark Vickers. Hey, gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Good.
Good.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Hello.
So as Robbie pointed out, we're going to explore how Vpress can help with your front-end requirements. My name is Mark Vickers. I'm the Senior PrintVis Analyst here at Sabre. I've got a little bit of experience with some printing, so any of you that have been involved with me know that we have good chats about printing. And I've been working with PrintVis since 2017.
Hello.
And just a quick little bit about Sabre. Here at Sabre, we're a certified Microsoft Gold partner. We are one of the leading PrintVis partners in North America. And we are dedicated solely to the manufacturing and supply chain solution. So we get manufacturing really well, printing being a specialty element of manufacturing, but we're very strong in this area. So
hello.
Hi everyone, my name's Kelvin Bell. I'm the sales director here at Vpress. We've been going around about 25 years. So my actual Web2Print experience is a little bit extending that because I did what was now known as Web2Print before it was Web2Print back in the old days. I'm part of the team that founded Vpress in 2001. We were a bunch of guys who worked at a print shop, and we found ourselves in need of a new role, and we went and created Vpress on the back of that. And I'm only really good at one thing, so I'm pretty passionate about Web2Print, and I'm happy to answer any questions in regards to that.
Hello.
Just looking at Vpress and who we are. So we market ourselves as a leading Web2Print provider. So we've certainly been around quite a long time within the market. No doubt you can tell by my accent, we're from the UK. Most of our work now is in the US, so our reach is extending. So although we have all our development here in the UK, we do have offices externally, and soon we're going to be opening an office in North America itself, most likely Chicago, I do hope. Everything we do, we develop ourselves, so it's our own technology with our own development team. And my colleague Craig, who's on the call today, it's his team who actually build, support, and manage the tech behind the scenes. And what we'd like to show today is that by utilizing Web2Print, it has a true return of investment. By making savings for the client to place orders, making savings on those orders going into production, and helping that production to pass those orders back to the client, we can add some real benefit to the proposition. And our motto at Vpress is partnering our customers to success. And we truly do believe that.
Hello.
So you might not have heard about Vpress. It might be new to you, or you might not know all the facts about us. So we are a specialist Web2Print proven company. So this is what we do. This is what we provide. We don't do websites. We don't do application management. We just do what is known as Web2Print dynamic marketing print on demand. As I said before, we're founded in 2001, and we really had three key elements to support ourselves. So we don't have any debt. So we operate a bricks and mortar technology company. We don't take on any borrowings, and we're completely independent. So we're autonomous within the market. So we're not owned by an OEM or any other software company. By retaining the technology, we own the intellectual property. So whatever our customers want, we can develop it down that path, should there be a commercial rationale in order to do that. So as I said before, our development team is in-house. So 2 locations. We're here in Europe, in the UK. We have an office in Sydney, Australia, and then the 3rd location this year will be in North America.
Hello.
We work on the principle of a strong customer support ethos. So for us, it's not about selling a system and then coming back every license fee, which some providers do. It's about working with print suppliers in order to support them and their customer engagement, and then focus on workflow integration in order to make that more seamless and more fluid, because that's profitability. Hence why we've been working with PrintVis for some time, and we can enable that integration, which you'll see today. And everything we do, we're 25 years in, everything we do is about long-term client retention. So we support our customers longer term. And we still have those first 2 customers from 25 years ago who are printers who are using our software every day.
Hello.
Our actual product, CorePrint, is a true cloud secure platform. You can deploy it in 20 minutes. You can set up a storefront, you can customize it, personalize it, and you can roll it out to your customers online, all completely secure. It's got a backbone of Amazon AWS, so it's always there and it's always on. And once you've got our software, you can have an unlimited amount of storefronts. You're not limited by 3 or 5 or 11. You can have a storefront for every customer individually if you want. And that goes the same for users, products, everything in order to do the system. We don't even sell additional modules. It's all incorporated in the one application. And this presentation today is just basically an introduction into that. We work on a principle of fully self-serve. So if you want to buy the software and set your own customers up to reduce costs, you absolutely can do that. Training is included. But if you do need some assistance, we have a team of support guys and girls who are there to be able to support you and help you set up those storefronts or complex items should your business need it. And fundamentally, it's a standalone procurement solution. It can work absolutely on its own, either in a B2B or a B2C environment. And when you look at those markets, those B2B markets, things like engagement into client ERP systems for corporate print buying, or linking up to a website for as an app that you can support your customers' variable items. Because a new market has emerged in Web2Print is B2B2B or B2B2C, where you can support your customers' customers and their print ordering should there be a requirement to do so. Everything we do is fully internationalized, so we can do my version of English, your version of English, Spanish, French, whichever language you wish to use, and that's AI generative within the actual system. And of course, we come with PrintVis integration as standard.
Hello.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to swap over to a live demo.
Hello.
And there we go. Hopefully you can see my screen as I just log into a portal. All this is completely live. So what you can see now, which is just coming through. Robbie, can I just check you can see that?
Hello.
Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah, cool. It is live, everybody, just so that just reiterates that. So what we've got here is we've got a standard storefront. This storefront can look like anything you want it to look like. So we've got some examples there. It's completely white labeled and it integrates into B2C or B2B portals as well. So it's really straightforward, this version. What I can do is I can minimize it, and you can see that it can work on a mobile device without any proprietary software needed. The system can be styled and rebranded in a number of very easy, different ways. So if I just come through here, I've got a Vpress logo there. If I go up to the top and I just click on this admin function here, click on header, remove that white logo, bring a white Sabre one, apply it and go back, I've just branded up as Sabre. And I've got this Vpress graphic here. Again, if I just go into this admin function, click on there, go into pages. These are all really straightforward, and we show you how to do this. If I click on that there, click on image, I've got a panel already built. I'll delete my hero image there, and I'll just apply. And I've made a couple really quick changes there. And already what I've done is I've changed the look and the feel. And likewise, the color, the iconography, everything can be amended and changed very easily. So we can have embedded video, as you can see there. We can have call to action. We can track the user that's coming into the system, and we can have it all branded for your particular customer. Working from the top left, we have a burger there, so we can quickly jump to categories if we need to. We've got the branding there, which is also a home button. But what I can also do is I can have a dynamic search function there that I can search for products that I'm allowed to see that are profiled. Moving across, I've got the diamond grid. I'm logged in as the administrator. We have built within the system a digital asset management system. The two key drivers for print are data and imagery. And to cope with imagery, we've actually got that built in, which I'll show you as we go through. We can manage download orders. We can do product reports, requests for quotes, and of course, the theme options that I've just gone through where we can change the look and the feel of the portal. The user's details can be saved. We can manage currencies, and we can also support user profiles as well as full e-commerce. And like I said, we've got an embedded video there, which is just one of the options of the configuration. We can change the call to action that we've got here. We've got these categories that hold products. I've got a panel here so I can see what's been recently ordered, and I can track those orders into production. We've got a status here so we can have status coming back from PrintVis or any other MIS system where we can track and see where those jobs are. We integrated into the system into shipping aggregation so we can support taxation and delivery as well. Moving down, I can see items that haven't been ordered but recently saved. And these are here so I can go in and edit, order, and amend as I need to when I'm running through. And there's a footer there just to show you we can personalize the experience a bit more. So the system can look very different in a number of different ways. This is just one example. So, and I'll show you another example before we come off this page. So then we get down to the actual products, and I'm going to look at 4 basic products here today. So I'm going to go into operations, this category here, and I'm going to look at the old business card here. And if I'm going to look at a business card, I might as well look at the hardest business card that we have. Now, we have 2 different editors built within the system. I'm going to show you both today. This is our standard form fill editor, which is still in use. It still has a real purpose, but we also have a dynamic editor as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a business card for myself. I'm going to give myself an MCSE, and I'm going to make myself the Public Relations Officer out of Dubai. So I'm populating the field on the right-hand side, and it's creating my business card that I can see a proof of on the left. As I'm scrolling down, associated numbers are coming in where we can lock the format of those numbers. We can have a mobile number or a cell number. If you wish, we can drop that in there, and then we can support an email where we can lock certain parts of the field to ensure that the integrity of the business card is always preserved. So we've got some regulatory information. We've got some complex number formatting there and some different fonts and different colors. That's not why it's particularly difficult. This one's particularly difficult because when you look at the reverse of the actual business card, it transliterates my name into Arabic, which is now editable fields, and it takes the flow of text from left to right to right to left. We support Hebrew, Chinese, Japanese, various different languages where you have different requirements on that script, as well as having a font integrity tool built in. So that is all done there. What I'm going to do is save that. I'm going to call it Kelvin Bell 345. So I'm saving that. Just before I'm going to order it, I'm going to look at a proof. So I mentioned before about the proposition here is all built by Vpress. That includes the document composition engine. So if I click on Show PDF, what the system will do, it will open up a PDF of that actual print job. There we go. Anyone who's looking at this, who's from a production background, the first thing they see, there's no crop or bleed on the actual proof here as well. That's a variable aspect of the print job that can be amended to assist the workflow. And indeed, we can support ancillary information in that crop and bleed to aid the workflow should you have different kinds of finishing configurations set up. But for the purpose of this demonstration, we've got the business card there. It's print quality. I'm zooming in, and I've also got a watermark there, which can be amended to say whatever you want it to do at system levels. So I can scan through my business card. I can look at that. I'm quite happy with that, and I can close that PDF down again. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go through and I'm going to order that item. So I'm clicking on the order function. I've created my business card and I've just checked it, the PDF. We come through to this page here. It's given me a price, 36 Canadian dollars and 2 cents. At the moment, it's coming from within PrintVis, but we're looking to pull that from PrintVis as well as an option. I can double check that business card, and of course I can still see a PDF should I require. Any ancillary details we need to edit the business card or the order, any finishing we might need to do, we could add on this page. So if there's a bit of spot UV or laminating required, we can add that as part of the order. All I'm going to do here is come down here, look at the quantity. I've got a drop down, or I've got a pricing grid there. It shows me what I would get for 500. I can select that as an option, and I can add that to basket. So what is a complicated business card? We've just managed that relatively straightforward in doing so. So I'm going to continue shopping. I'm clicking on the Sabre logo and coming back to the home page just so you can see the navigation. What if I want to capture a job? So emailing jobs backwards and forwards is quite a dated way of doing the process of getting jobs into production. And also for B2B, a lot of customers have file limitations on those kind of jobs. So what we've got is we've got the ability to support print on demand. Print on demand enables me to have a virtualized print room. So I'm going to go into one of these products here, which is for a brochure, and it's a product profile that's being set up. So I'm looking here and it just needs a file, right? It's 0 Canadian dollars. I'm going to scroll down here. I'm just going to find a file. You can see me there with a PDF, and I'm just going to drop it. If I click this solid box, I could search for it on my PC here. So the file, while sharing video, while sharing screen, the file has been uploaded into a secure environment in the cloud. It's now being reviewed for commercial production, and it's just been approved. It's one attachment with 2 black and white pages and 14 color pages, and I can see a proof of the item that I've just uploaded there. Now this could be a multi-part job. We support that also. You would just upload it twice, and I would check it twice in order to identify any potential errors. As I'm scrolling down, we can select the stock. I'm going to go for 200-gram paper stock and 300-gram cover stock. As I'm selecting these options, they are being amended within the actual price at the top of the screen, which is also displayed at the bottom of the screen as well. I can come down here and I've got binding options. So I'm going to say perfect bound. Scrolling down to the bottom. Now these options are built within PrintVis. We do want to look towards the future and start pulling them directly from PrintVis in order to create dynamic pricing that the customer control based upon parameters that they want to set. But at the moment it's managed within here, and we send the product through into PrintVis as it is. Cost centers turned off this particular item, so there's no reason to enter that. But if I come here and I've got a budget of 1,000 Canadian dollars, we know how print works and how print is priced. The customer wants more bang for their buck, and the printer wants more fiscal value for the order coming through. So the customer in their own time can make a decision on how much they want to spend of their budget. So if they enter 100, it's 373. So why wouldn't they go 250? And they've got a good figure, more bang for their buck, and they get for $925.54. They're getting 250 copies rather than just 1 or 10. We can manage that as a quantity, and I'm going to add that to basket. And now in my shopping cart, I've got my business card and I've got my print on demand item. I'm going to go back up to that Sabre logo and just click one more time. So I'm back to the home page. I'm going to look at something else. So what I've got here is I've got inventory items. I'm going to click on there and you can see that I've got a range of products there. The system can manage grab and stock allocations for different users. So I've been notified that this particular item, which is a non-print item, as you can see, is out of stock, although we do support merchandise as well. I've got some labels, I've got a rucksack, but I've also got a medical brochure here, which I'm going to select. Now, this particular item, this could be where the artwork is held but non-editable within the system, and when an order is placed, it will send that file to the right press that needs to print it in the right location. For the purpose of this demonstration, what we've got is just a stock item. I can quick order a quantity. As I select that quantity, it gives me an actual cost that's going to come, and I can just enter a cost center on there as well, should I need to. What we can also do here is we can enable stock balancing as well. So we can show what the stock balance available to me or collectively as an organization can be displayed on screen. But for the purpose of this simple demonstration, I'm just going to add that to basket like so. So that item's gone through. So I've now got 3 items in my shopping cart at the top. I'm going to go back up to that Sabre logo just to come back to the home page. So I've shown 3 different kinds of products. What I'd like to do now is to show a different editor. I'm going to click on marketing. And in doing so, I'm going to click on this product here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new item. Now, this is our dynamic editor. We are exceptionally proud of this because this is really versatile. It's versatile in that it allows the user to create and style their own products adhering to a brand, but it can also support multiple products across multiple brands and save creative element as needed. So within here, when you set this up as a product, you can have it in 2 incarnations. You can set this up so it's a guided mode. So step 1, make a change. Step 2, make a change, and the user can map their progress as they go through. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to have it on non-guided mode. And just to show you the page that we've got here, we've got pages, as you can see, it's a poster. If it was a multi-page item, we could scroll through those pages on the left-hand side and go to the bits that we wanted to amend. We can support layers, history, proof. The settings I've just gone in to switch between guided and non-guided mode, and we can zoom in and out of our actual product here on the left. And on the right, we've got some variable fields. So the first field I'm going to change is the location. The location is on a drop down here, and I'm going to select Grantham as my local hospital. And I'm going to personalize this poster for Mark. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Mark. Have you still not had your flu?
Hello?
Vaccine. So the user feels as though they're creating a new product from scratch. They're absolutely not. What they're doing is they're making permitted changes within the actual document, adhering to brand. So I could amend the color, I could change the alignment, and I could change the font size. We are controlling the information regarding the text within this box here. And if we want to type in the box or directly on the artwork, then we can. The more text we enter, the text will automatically resize in order to fit. As I move down, I've got a body of text here, moving up or down. I can't move it right or left, and it automatically shrinks or expands to fit. So obviously you've seen Mark, he's not 65. I work in sales, we'll put 35 in there. As we scroll down, coming down here, we've got a calendar function here. Everybody, I'm dyslexic, I definitely get the date function wrong. What we can do is we can select that from a calendar picker and it will drop it in there. Again, I can amend the color. I can manipulate the font. So I can change that font from a grade list that you all set in advance, and actually can amend the size if we want to, which could be from a drop down, or it could be from a text field, as you've just seen. What I've also got is I've got the ability to change the color background. So with corporate organizations, they may have different color backgrounds for different departments. Well, that's okay, because what we can do is we can support that by a color palette there. And you can see that these are the 4 colors that have been approved for this medical chain. As you scroll through, you can have different products with different colors.
Hello?
So I mentioned about text, and we've seen how I've gone through and I've changed some of the text within here. It's also image based as well. So I've got an image here. I can't move up or down. I can only move it so far across. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to remove that as an image from my product. So I now no longer have the image on the artwork. And I'm going to click on upload. I could upload a new image directly into it, but I'm going to select a new image there. I've got a picture of Dr. Jenkins there. I could recrop it because I've got permission to do so. I could select it and bring it in. And what the system can do, it can manage the aspect ratio and the DPI to ensure that that image is print quality. So you've created the template and you've created the rules based upon the text and conditions around the print job. The bit that the user has where they upload an image, the system will manage and enforce the correct image is used. So when I'm looking here as well, I can just manage the opacity of that image should I want to, and I can change the alignment. I'm actually quite happy with that image, and I'm going to click order. I'm going to give it a name.
Hello? And I'm
going to save it. So I've saved that, and I've come through to this custom order select page. So I've created my item. This is just a double check. Again, I can see a PDF of that particular product. I can see on screen what I've ordered. Mark, if you've still not had your vaccine jab. And what I can do here is I can apply a cost center and I can specify a quantity. If I select 10, it will update the price, and I could just go 35 if I wanted to as well. Again, all of this is controlled by you when you create the product. And I'm going to add that to basket.
Hello.
So I've gone through and I've ordered 4 different kinds of products there. And we do a lot more variable products than this. This is just a basic selection of what we do. But I'll show you that in a second. So I've got a price there, and I'm just going to proceed that to checkout. So we have a form here. So we're capturing whatever details, and all the terminology here can be based around what the customer wants to see. So we can drop a little comment on there. Please call prior to dispatch.
Hello.
What we can do is also we can set an address. So let's drop it to Sabre, United States. We can put in new addresses. We can capture that. We can get a cost based upon delivery by further integration. I'm going to put Mark's name in there.
Hello.
I'm going to give him a
Hello.
cell number. I'm just going to make that up, obviously. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to place that as an order. If there was requirement for a payment gateway, we could have that. If it's on invoice like this one is, it will just go straight through. So order number 7 with an order date is listed there, and I've got a summary of my order on screen. Now, a lot of Web2Print systems stop there, and that's as far as you can go. Not CorePrint. What CorePrint does, it allows us to track the order way beyond that. So if I go into an order report, which is just a basic report, and I look at order number 7 in its entirety, what you can see here is each order line ID has its own order line reference. So number 7 has 4 different order line IDs. So we can look at that. And it also has 4 different statuses. It means that we track jobs granularly within the system. So we support the ability to have multiple suppliers. So if you don't do a large format job, or you don't support direct mail, you can utilize another printer. Printers can be the new print management company. And especially when you've got large geographical areas as you have in the US and Canada. So, or globally as well. I mean, the system is used at global levels by printers and print management companies to provide their customers with a service. So we've got a summary of each one of those line items within order number 7. Within here as well, if I want to see what Kelvin ordered for that business card there, I can click on the actual artwork within the report, and I can see that report on screen. I can zoom in and I can just check it. No problem there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll up to the top. Oh, incidentally, before I forget, we've got a large gray space here. So if there's shipping integration or any kind of approval or update on the status, we can actually have this space in order to indicate that. So you can actually have iconography there. To click on it and it'll show you where you are, where your order is on Google Maps if it's being dispatched. So there's various different things we can do with various different levels of integration. But scrolling up to the top here, information is power. So what I can do if I want to know what Kelvin has ordered over the last 60, 90, 70 days, chronologically, I can pick an X and Y date on a calendar function. I can set the parameters I want my report to run from and to. I can drop in keywords to search, and I can drop in titles there as well. So I can update the report to show the information to say how many business cards Kelvin has ordered based upon his Toronto address. Or what I could do, I could run that report against a department, or I could how much I've spent over the last fiscal year. I could generate that. And not just on screen, I can also export that as well into an Excel spreadsheet. So that's a basic introduction into CorePrint Web2Print. I'm just going to show you one other thing here as well as we come through. There's lots of additional features within the actual software. But as we go through into marketing, there's also different kinds of products that we can support. So within here, we support VDP, the ability to upload data and create a multiple print job per each line of data that's there. We can also use a data composition where we can have a menu where we can create it dynamically from the data that's been offered. So again, this is our standard editor. It makes no difference to us, but I'm just amending a typo. It's just a basic A4, A5 menu. As I scroll to the reverse, I can change that, and I'm going to call that the Sabre bar menu. So I'm putting my call to action there. Nothing too flash, but you can see it's been updated on the actual proof there. Now what I'm going to do to get content, I'm going to click on this option here. It takes me into the Digital Asset Manager to the right location, and I can see an Excel spreadsheet. I'm clicking on that spreadsheet, I'm selecting it, I'm bringing it into the artwork, and I'm saving around about 45 minutes of studio time. Not only that, I'm saving the ability for the customer to proof that item backwards and forwards with the studio. So what we're doing is everything we do in here, we're trying to make savings to make the relationship of getting a variable print job accurately into production as simple as possible, reducing cost. And this is a key way of doing it. If I just have a look at the PDF that's been generated, open that up, you can see, again, standard PDF editor, scroll down, I amended the typo down here, I put in the call to action. I am in the UK, the data set that I've used is in pounds, but what I've got here is I've just populated the whole of my menu from an Excel spreadsheet. What does that really mean? It means the spacing south of the key, the font sizes, the positioning, the imagery, glutenism, vegetarianism, veganism, all of that information has just been dropped down there. You can see there's an obvious error with the egg mayonnaise sandwich there, but scrolling down here, all of that has just been created by an Excel spreadsheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close that and come back to the main page. So before I finish off, I was just going to show you something else. So that's a basic system. There's an awful lot more that the system does, but that all is gone now. That's actually gone into PrintVis, which I'm going to hand over to Mark in a few seconds. But just before I do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the system. I'm just going to sign out, and I'm just going to log into a different site.
Hello.
So drop this in here.
Hello.
Put in a username and password.
Hello.
And come in. So exactly the same site that I've just been showing you. That's this one here. So again, it's the same positioning of the images, but different content. It's a lot more visual. It tracks the user coming in. It knows who I am. And there's a lot more user engagement based on here. And we're tracking products to different departments right through into shipping and delivery. So it's not a real brand. It's just a fictitious brand, but it was something that I wanted to just show you. The system is very versatile and can be deployed very quickly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand over to Mark and let Mark take over the screen.
Hello.
Great. Thanks, Calvin. That was excellent. Yeah, it's really exciting to see what's happening and what the user experience is going to look like. Let me just grab that. There we go. So what we're going to do here is just kind of finish off a little bit of showing how does that all come in? What is that, what does it kind of look like when it hits PrintVis? So as Calvin mentioned, PrintVis has worked with Vpress core print and be able to have a bit of an out-of-the-box setup. We would work together as a team with you to get that set up. So here we have the role center of PrintVis. Some of you that are familiar with PrintVis platform would recognize this. But normally if it's set up with the right configuration and a status code that comes in as a web order print, you could have responsible to a team or a person that would show up in the responsible. They would know there's some new orders. But I'm just going to flip right through into here and we can see, okay, there's a case. I'm going to open this case, which is our order. And you can see there's our customer, Sabre, United States. It's come in as a order type web shop. We've got our status code of a web order, responsible coordinators. So it's populated those 4 lines of items with their quantities, their specifications. If I look down at each one on the job items, I've got the component details about which stock is it using, how am I printing that, and that's usually being driven by a template for that type of product that's automatically generated. All that I need to do, this thing is ready to go to production. We'll just clip on a couple of them. You can see I go down here. There's the brochure that's got the 12-page plus cover, the different stocks that are spec'd out. And then, of course, as we move through that status code, sorry, I missed that little one, we would advance that status, and that would then feed back, and then your customer could see that at their end being updated so that they could actually get some sort of up-to-date progress reporting of where's my order at, that kind of stuff. So, and then I'm just going to touch on a little bit. You have a Web2Print front end setup that we would do. But I'm just going to show the Web2. That was where the front end would go. But I find this interesting is we're just going to open up this one. And you can see you can configure so that it either processes the orders automatically, or they can be held in the order list, and you can have an individual that keeps tabs on these. They get a notification there's orders in there, and they can review them. I've only got one left over in here, but you could have a list of 20, 30 orders in a few hours or in a day, and you have the ability to go in and look at those. This is the order information. This one's actually already been tagged to an order. So there's your customer information, the front end K through Vpress. There's your status code. There's the details that are being done. We can be specific to tag specific components. So you can use the automation level of component types in PrintVis to create that. You can tag in the shipment, some invoicing stuff. I can click up here and I can actually go see this is a different order that's already been connected. And you can see it's represented a few of my items here. If I go to a different one here, this is a different case number. If I click on this, you're going to have a different case in here.
Hello.
Or you could have an automatic process, as I mentioned.
Hello.
So that was it for from here. And yeah, I think this is a great opportunity. We see a lot of activity and interest in being able to do that. As Calvin mentioned, you could be developing a website for your customer to feed orders directly into you, or for their customers, help them present something on the marketplace that feeds for them, and then it can come through directly into your orders.
Hello.
Okay, just to pick that back up and go back to the actual presentation. So,
okay.
Hello.
Yeah. So just to give a bit of a summary on what you're seeing today. So, North American market valued at 127 billion. So there's a huge amount of opportunity. We've done some work with Printing United and ourselves running surveys. We think the North American market is about 30-40% online as it happens at the moment, but it is very fast growing. So there's a huge amount of opportunity. And what we're doing here with Sabre and indeed PrintVis is offering a solution that copes with both the B2B and B2C market. We have an API that plugs into any website, also any application. So we've got some of the office product companies in North America also using our software to create personalized print items, mainly business cards, but it could be any item.
Hello.
So within the Vpress system as well, you've got 24/7, 365 storefronts to capture those print orders directly back into PrintVis. And those the optimum time for people placing orders online is between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. Monday to Friday for B2B, and it's weekends for B2C. But quite often there are times when you're not in the print shop, so it's good to have an online shop doorway open as part of your sales strategy. We're looking at reducing manual administration. So once the site is actually set up, and it doesn't take a huge amount to set a site up, what you can do is you can make those orders coming into your business much easier by freeing up the stop-start entering from one system to another and record them into a financial package or so forth. The days of creating manual job bags hopefully are long gone, and we can help that by driving some automation on that front end and making it an easier process for your customer as well. But primarily what we're doing is we're driving workflow automation, which is key, because workflow automation equals profit. The ability to take a job and reduce those touch points to get that job to press and to get it back out to the customer is pure profit. saving it. It's not, we don't advocate this to replace people. We advocate this to increase accuracy, increase scalability in order to support that profit margin coming through. And those costs could be 25 to 30%. And one of the things that's really good to do is to look at a job, a range of different jobs coming into your business, and identify the touch points before those jobs go back out. And if we can start reducing 2, 3, 4 of those touch points, that is where those savings are coming from. And with Vpress, what we can do is we can send the order details into PrintVis, so the job is there ready to be managed, and we can SFTP the jobs into production workflow, ready for the right press at the right time, at the right in the right way. And that's what the scalability and the efficiency is that drives profit that we're offering here. So,
hello.
Moving on. I don't know. Is there any questions?
We did have a question come in from Marcella, and that was, could you please confirm whether this integration is a standard one provided by PrintVis, or if it has been developed by Sabre?
Hello.
I guess I'll respond to that. It is with PrintVis. So the team at Vpress have worked directly with PrintVis to create a sort of somewhat pre-structured feature within PrintVis that comes out of the box that makes it easy to do that connection and help get that set up.
Hello.
And just to add to that, so the thing about integration into an MIS system such as PrintVis, which is super capable, is it's not just one thing. It's something that evolves. Craig, my colleague, who's on the call, I'm sure he can add more to this. It's something we're constantly working at in order to improve, and that's PrintVis and Vpress, because what we want to do is we want to make it deeper, richer, and much more scalable as we go through. It's great where it is now, but we're not sitting back and resting on our laurels.
Hello.
Any more questions?
Fantastic. Also, I'm right now just giving you all the opportunity to unmute yourselves. If you want to ask directly to Calvin, Craig, and Mark, feel free to unmute yourselves and ask away.
Hello.
And I do have another one here for you guys too. Oh, Patrick, sorry, I just saw that you unmuted yourself. I'll let you go first.
Gentlemen, how y'all doing?
Great, thanks.
All right, Patrick.
Good to hear from you, Patrick.
Hey. Yeah. So real quick, if you're set up for it, do you want to do a real quick Shopify integration?
Hello.
With Vpress?
Hello.
Are you catching me out?
I caught you off guard there. Sorry.
Yeah. If you want to see that, I can jump straight into that like a true professional.
I know you are.
While you're doing that, Calv, I'll just say a few words about that, because you caught us there. You've caught us there. I'm prepared for that bit, but no, that's absolutely fine. Calv will sort that out to just present that. But just to let you know that the Shopify or whatever those orders come into us, they will still flow through us straight into PrintVis. So for anybody else that's watching, so it doesn't really matter how they come into our system, our sort of like back-end integration to push those orders across and get the artwork across to your workflow and all those sorts of things. It doesn't really matter how those orders come into us. So it could be through our front end that Calvin demonstrated there, or it could be from Shopify. It does not matter. If it comes into us, we then still have the integrations that will then fire it straight off to whatever workflow and to PrintVis as well. So you ready? You ready, Calv?
Yeah, I'm ready. So there's nothing like a live presentation, and this is live. So a lot of companies will give you smoke and mirrors. We are flying by the seat of our pants here. So, but this is 100% live. So what you can see on screen now is a Shopify test environment. So this is not Vpress. It's a Vpress staging platform we've done with Shopify. But you can use any e-commerce that you want. Shopify just seems to be the flavor of the month. So I'm logging in to this, and again, this is not Vpress. This is a Shopify site, and we're looking down here, and we use this as a test bed. I'm going to go into one of these Shopify products, and this is still Shopify. So this is not Vpress here. There's nothing I can amend. But what I do have is I've got the ability to personalize. You can change the terminology as you see fit. Now, the reason why this is such an opportunity is because there's websites out there such as Flippa, Flippa, which has no association to us, where you can buy an off-the-shelf Shopify site. You can plug in Vpress's app that's on Shopify. You've got to speak to us before you do that, but you can plug that in and you can create a B2C site in minutes. When I say minutes, it's not something I do myself. I get somebody to do for me, but it is something that you can do. What I'm going to do here is I'm clicking on personalize, and what it's doing, it's kickstarting the API on that product. And this is now the dynamic editor that you saw before, except it's a different color. And what I can do is I can change that around, and I can call that the Sabre cocktail menu. Let's get rid of that. Let's just call that bar menu. So let's have that. We can change the background color as we see fit. Let's have it a little bit of a different color. We can check those pages out as we're going through. We've got the ability to manage the font and the manipulation as we go through. It's now going next. So I'm going to have a different color insert. Let's go for green. We can change the assets around. We can remove them. We can change the opacity. We can link this up to digital asset management should we need to. Let's not have vodka. Let's have beer. As we scroll through, this is actually a Diageo menu, actually. We scroll down through. Let's keep the color consistent. We've got an asset there. Let's just zoom in. And move around. What we could do is click on some text. New bar menu. For new drinks. As you can see, I've got no inspiration. I'm just typing away. We can see up here as well where we can add to that should we need to. We can move these fields around if we want to reposition them. We can go back to full screen view. Like I said, we've got the assets there that we can move across if we want to swap them over. We can, of course, do that as well, like so. Onto the back page. And again, let's just keep that color flow going through. I'm happy with the changes that I've made. So it's a simple template where the user can design and create their own menu. The front page should probably be the same color as well. Too busy talking. Get to the back page. Then I'm going to click next. It's asking me if I want to change the footer. Yeah, let's just change that to 2026. Update it. We're happy there. Click next again. Yeah. And now it's asking for a name. So Patrick's dropped me in it today. So let's just put Patrick 001. We're going to save that. And now we've left the API and we're back into Shopify. So we've got it in here. Let's just add a quantity. So there's a Sabre bar menu. We've sent a proof back from our editor. The customer's got that seamless experience, and we can now add it to cart. We can view the cart there. There's a bunch of items in from previous demo. Let's just view that cart, and we can see there's various different items there, and we can just check that item out like so and populate it and check it away. And that is corporate Web2Print integrated into a shop, utilizing a Shopify app into a Shopify e-commerce platform.
Excellent. Thank you.
That was a fantastic question, by the way, Patrick.
Yep.
Way to put Kelvin on his toes.
Good.
He knows me.
On that. Yeah, he knew it was coming because you were there. Just something that I'm not sure if it got touched on through this that people might have in the back of their minds. We weren't able to show it because I don't have a pre-press front end, but the files that you're seeing being generated to a PDF are normally going to go directly into where that FTP type folder is going to reside that's going to have the artwork. So it's going in parallel with tags so that when that order goes through, your pre-press system is going to have that file stored ready to grab or wherever your storage initial spot could be. And then, of course, you can work towards having your pre-press system integrate with PrintVis as well. Patrick knows all about that stuff, but it's really the idea that you're going to, and that's really what we see as a big key to the whole product and the whole family, which now includes Vpress and some of the others, is there is a lot of ability for printers to automate a lot of repeated functions through this integration because, PrintVis in this area is really open to that type of architecture and really becomes a powerful tool for the printer, no matter what your product line.
Hello.
Go ahead, Craig.
I was about to say, just following on from Mark, it says about sort of like a fully sort of like integrated. I don't know if Kelv's got it on his screen, but those on the actual homepage when you log in, you'll see that there's a panel that's on there that actually gives you the status of all of your orders, and that also gets updated as well. So it actually comes back from PrintVis. So we get all that information coming in, or from any other system, actually, to be fair, whatever's actually happening with it. And it says whether it's processing, whether they're complete, and whether it's got a little shipping icon as well. Kelv might have it. Oh, you're on that site, but it's on the other one because that would have been processed by now within PrintVis, so that would come back. So if you switched it back to the other demo site, then you would have actually see those ones updating, which is quite nice because then it's the whole loop. It's not just taking the order and just pushing it through and that's the end of it. You can actually see it actually coming back. So I can come into here. You can see, there you go. You see you've got your recently ordered there. You've got some processing. If you click on the view more, and it gives you the sort of longer list, Kelv, on that recently ordered. Just click on that one there. Just scroll down a bit. They should, yeah. There's some ones from earlier that we did just to sort of like test before we, obviously, because before you do a webinar, you test it, and you can see that you've got a little link and it takes you through and it tracks you and shows you where the van is or whatever. We just get that information back just to complete the whole loop round.
Hello. Marcel asked another question as well, and that was, do you need to map those statuses, or will it take the ones from PrintVis?
Yeah, there was a bit of mapping involved because you can have custom ones, but as long as you can say, well, actually, that means that once it's hit that milestone, that status, then it changes to processing. As long as you map them up, it's not a massive deal.
No,
it's straightforward.
And to add to that, Marcella, to be honest, we find a lot of customers, whether it's in this application or others, often what you see in PrintVis in the system, the terminology that your production people are used to seeing and want to see, it's not exactly the way you want it to say that same message to the customer. So you may want to say, hey, we can have 3 things that all basically say to the customer, it's in production. You may not want to have them say, hey, it's here, and then it's here, and then it's here, which are the granular representations that your production team needs to know. But some people feel that on a customer facing, that just opens them up to say, well, why is it not left pre-press yet? Why is it not into plating? Why is it not? It's in production. So that's where that mapping tends to lend itself.
Yeah, I mean, we found that before, where we just think that in the past we just thought, yeah, the customer wants to see exactly where it is in the actual manufacturing process, and then we just realised quickly afterwards, no, they don't want to see that. They just want to know, yep, we're on with it. Yep, it's been done. Yep, it's been dispatched, and there's the link to see the van, wherever the van is. So that's what we found from experience.
Hello. And there's a similar argument that could be made that you do create another subset of statuses for the Web2Print side, specifically for internal operations, where you're able to use those status codes respectively. I do want to also touch on, as Calvin and Craig both mentioned, when the artwork is submitted, it is going through an SFTP site. That is 100% something that you do want to do from a security protocol perspective, is that it goes through the secure FTP site and then is handed off. And there are tools available. We've made tools available ourselves in which you can make that a automated managed solution, that when the file is handed off and handshaked with the prepress solution, it will go out and delete the file from the SFTP site. So you don't have to manage that and then have to pay for those additional services that might be required with managing an SFTP site.
Hello.
Good information. Thanks, Patrick.
So I have another question for you guys too, and that's just, how long does it take to implement Vpress?
I can pick that one up. The quickest time we've had is 24 hours, where another Web2Print system let a customer a print down, a PSP down, and it had to go live, and we literally did have 24 hours notice before it went out, and was for a realtor as the end client. That's not preferred. We'd rather a little bit more time. I think safely 2 weeks, 3 weeks, if you want integration, 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, depending on the nature of the integration and the requirement of the project. We do some of the biggest brands in North America where there's thousands of templates, and some financial institutions where the complexity is very complex. So we've done it with the printer's done it themselves, or various different ways. But it can be done, and it can be expedited to set up quickly. If there is integration, the integration always falls on the third party. So, if the customer has to get in touch with their IT department, then obviously there's a convoluted conversation potentially there. But it's pretty quick. 4 weeks is a manageable amount of time to get something up and running. We've done a lot of replacement. A lot of people have got Web2Print now. We've done a lot of replacement of existing Web2Print systems. It's the nature of things. And we can do that very easily and very seamlessly.
Amazing.
Hello?
And how much does it cost?
Less than $10,000 US. Apologies, I don't have the conversion to Canadian
That's okay.
at the moment, and it's fluctuating a lot. But yeah, we've made it affordable. That's the most important thing. This is a long-term strategy. This is a long-term relationship where we support our customers. And the goal is it doesn't happen overnight. You don't instantly get end-to-end workflow. Workflow is something you work on over a period of time to refine and define and improve upon. So yeah, I mean, it's under 10,000. There's cases where it's above, there's cases where it's below, depending on what people want to do. But it's a good ballpark figure.
And just to jump on that bit as well, Kelv, you just saying about the automation and getting it further in the workflow. That's the whole idea when Kelv was selecting things like what stock do you want on it, what's the finishing processes. We actually then refine them and actually send them through into the workflow so it can go further down without anybody touching it. So the idea is that we capture everything up front. We know exactly what the job is, the size of it, the orientation, the binding, the stocks and everything. So in theory, you can set that up, bang, straight through, and no one touches it till they take it off the back of the digital press, for example. And that's the whole idea.
Hello?
Amazing. So how is implementation managed?
Hello?
I could start that, and someone else can finish it if they wish. We quote for the work, we quote for the system, we work out what the needs and requirements are, and we tailor that around what those needs and requirements need to be. We've been working with Sabre. We're really looking forward to working with Sabre and doing that and sharing the load between the two of us based upon what people want to do and what their requirement is. So it's collaborative is the only thing I can say. We speak to them. Mark, do you want to jump in there?
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, our expertise is on the PrintVis side of it, and we team up with Vpress on that to be able to say, as a collaborative team, we're presenting that whole picture to be able to complete the project. And then, certainly, we would be the initial contact in support after that. But we always have the Vpress partners if it's not something that we are able to address, as an ongoing support side of it, that kind of thing. But in terms of the implementation, we'd work probably together where needed, but parts of it will be you just need to focus with the team at Vpress, and that's what you'll do. And some of it might be just a focus in a session or so with setup side on PrintVis, and we would be along with that one, and our team of partners as well. So it's a collaborative. Exactly.
It is. And the technical side for the integration between two systems is straightforward because it's out of the box. So we can set that up, do our tests just to make sure everything's okay. You might want to tweak something, change something, some fields. You might want to have two fields concatenated into one. We can make those tweaks. It's quite straightforward. But as it's out of the box, the integration is very, very simple.
Hello?
Fantastic. I want to be respectful of everybody's time, but I do have one final question, and that's what skills does a print shop need to offer Web2Print?
You've already got those skills. The skills in pre-press. We demystified the requirement for having coders, and if you need them and you've got complicated client relationships to manage, then by all means, yep, they can be utilized. But the system can be set up. I'm a sales guy. I can brand the system up. You just saw me go do some basic parts of that. Building artwork a little bit more complex, but pre-press can do that. We train them as part of the package. So the most important thing is to meet your customers' expectations. We now no longer work in an environment where we can sit and wait for the customers and guide the customer on what they want to have. Now customers, especially in B2B, they know what they want, they know what the brand is, and they know how they want it represented. And we have to have the technology to support that. So yeah, it's, managing your customers' expectations, and it's having the core skills that you've already got in order to support it.
And the real sort of techie nerdy side, we deal with that. Don't worry about that. We deal with that, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Because we love it.
Well, if those are all the questions for today, I want to thank everybody for attending, and I want to thank Calvin, Craig, and Mark for presenting for us today. That was absolutely fantastic. If anybody wants to learn more, feel free to reach out to the folks at Vpress or us at Sabre Limited. I've left in the chat links to both of the websites. And with that, thank you everybody for attending. And I hope you all have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.